Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kahu, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Mimi Bland, an executive mindset strategist specializing in working privately with ultra-high achieving men, including billionaire founders, CEOs, and visionaries. She focuses on helping her clients achieve emotional mastery, identity reinvention, and true fulfillment beyond external success through deeply intuitive and strategic mentorship. Mimi's work uniquely addresses the hidden emotional toll of high achievement, holding space for clarity, balance, and inner peace, where traditional coaching often falls short. With that being said, Mimi, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Hello, Milan. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you and hopefully enlightening and giving some great information to your listeners.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Mimi, I was looking forward to the conversation, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's dive into it. What I love to do with every single one of my guests is take it back in time, right? Before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
To be honest, I never had a motivation for starting a business ever. I was always a mum, always wanted to be a mother growing up. That was my the highlight of my career. I love mothering. Many years ago, I was a Montessori teacher and little one, so I worked with the younger generation for quite a few years. And then I was deputy of the school, and I love that because I love them when they used to come in, inspiring them and giving them a dream. And a lot of them some came from challenging family commitments. So it was really lovely to give them that start and that foundation, that solid foundation at a young age. That was really my first starting working job as it started. To be honest, like from the whole of my own life was very challenging myself. So that's how I really got into doing what I'm doing today. It was really trying to find ways of overcoming my own things that were going on. I trained in NLP, I trained in life coaching, business coaching, emotional freedom technique. I was a Reiki master, a hypnotist. I trained in lots of different modalities, trying to find an answer to really finding out how to repair and how to get myself in alignment. But they were short-term fixes. So I really went more on a spiritual journey and I wanted to really go into the whole of who we are. And that's really what started this whole business. That's where that was the core of it, to be honest.
I love it. Obviously, I'm sorry for you going through those tough times, but whenever I hear somebody talking about something like that, I'm actually pretty grateful.
Oh,
Obviously, this is what made you and allowed us to have this conversation right now. And also, if you think about the clientele, though, it must be quite comforting for people working with you, just knowing that this woman, she actually gets me, right? She can relate.
100%. Yeah, most definitely. And I really believe now, I used to have very profound visions when I was a younger child. And the visions were always that I was here to do some great stuff, as we all are. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I realized that I came here because I wanted to eliminate all pain and suffering. So if you want to be a teacher or something and you want to teach it, you want to go in, you really need to go through all levels of pain and suffering yourself so that you can really understand it and teach it from a deeper level. So it's not textbook. You've been there, you've done it, you know what everybody's feeling. And then you've learned to transcend those feelings, to transcend that mindset and to create a completely different life for yourself. So I do believe that we all come here with our own mission to overcome. And you're right. So now when I speak to clients, male or female, I can speak to them on a completely different level because I always believe that unless you have the foundations of life, it's like building a house. Unless you have a solid foundation, it's never going to stick. It's always going to be on shaky ground. But if you know the foundations of who you are, why you're here, and what you came here to create, then everything becomes so much more easier.
Agreed. 1000% agreed. Good stuff. Now, Mimi, let's talk about where this journey overall got you and what the business really looks like today. In this part of the podcast, what I'm trying to do is get the listeners closer to who it is exactly that you're trying to help in the first place. What is the core offering that you have for your clients? But also, what does the process look like on a daily basis? So just go ahead and tell us exactly who do you help and then what do you help them with?
Well, to be honest, I can help anybody with anything, and I don't mean that to sound, but I can. But I preferred for myself personally working with people over the years. I like to work with high executives, visionaries, somebody that has a dream, they have a goal, and they want betterment for their life. Doesn't mean you have to be a CEO or a company director. It's anyone that has a vision for their life. So when I work with someone, my program is called the Return to Self because it is literally returning back to yourself, to the foundation, the core of yourself. And then what I do is get rid of all the conditioning, all the limitations that you have accepted as your truth, and then work on that premise. So it's really finding out who you are, where you're going, the vision that you want for your life, and then showing you how to get there, and then bypassing all the conditioning, all the beliefs, all the limitations that have been placed upon you so that you can achieve the desired outcome.
I love the way you put it, especially because in my introduction, I made it pretty much seem like you work with the highest top of them all. But at the same time, you're absolutely right. You could pretty much help anybody that comes
Yeah.
across your service and your company. But also, I know for a fact there's a lot that goes into the equation and trying to figure out what is my process? How am I going to decide whether I work with you or not? So if maybe there's something specific in terms of some qualifications that you're looking for to make that decision, just walk us through that so that the listeners understand.
Yeah, I don't go on qualifications. It's not about money qualifications. It's about alignment with me. Everything's about energy and alignment. When people come to me, I can tell exactly where people are. I have a gift in knowing where they are, what they're coming for, and what they want to achieve. The trouble is, people are working in my energy. I don't work in their energy. But saying that, if you have a limitation or a belief system that you don't want to let go of, and that's become part of your identity, then it doesn't matter what I say or what I help you to do, you won't let go of that. So when we have a consultation and I speak with people, if people are willing and they're ready to let go, if they're hungry and they want change, that's when we work together. And if it's not, then we're not a fit. Then I'll tell them because I'm not, for me, I want to see results and I only work with people that want to achieve the results they want to achieve. So it's not about money for me. It's about, I get passionate about seeing someone just like creating the impossible sometimes because there is no impossible. Yeah, so there's no criteria. It's really about how ready that person is and how much they're willing to release and let go of their own belief systems and things. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, most people are ready. Some like everyone's on their own little journey and everyone is here to fulfill their own, like I said, their own reasons why they came here. And we're not actually allowed to interfere with anyone else's journey. So if someone comes to me, they come to me because what I'm speaking or what I'm writing is resonating with them. So they have a deep resonation. So people don't usually come to me unless they feel that we're in alignment with each other, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, I feel like you're underselling yourself a little bit because maybe some of the listeners are not really familiar with you and the company. But with
Yes.
me having a chance to really go through your stuff, social media, website, one of the things that really stood out to me is the fact that it's quite obvious how deep you want to go with your work with every single client. And just knowing I'm a man myself, I know that there is a lot of things where ego is basically standing in the way to work with those men and really get rid of that mask and really go under the surface level stuff, that's not easy though.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, first of all, are you mainly working with men or what is that ratio when it comes to
Yeah.
your clients?
I would say I work maybe 80% with men, 20% with women. Yeah, you are right. We all have an ego, and the ego is really there to protect us, to stop us from getting hurt. That's all our ego really is. But there's ways of bypassing the ego. At the end of the day, what I've realized is doesn't matter if you're a multi-billionaire, doesn't matter how many toys you have, doesn't matter what you've created in life. We all want to be heard, we all want to be seen, and we all want to be loved. And you just find a little crack, you get in there. That's everybody just wants loving acceptance. So I always find it doesn't matter how high powered someone, they're just names. We're all human beings at the end of the day, and we're all just really trying to protect ourselves from getting hurt. So I've never done, I don't think there's anyone that I've actually ever worked with, regardless if that was like royalty or if that was somebody that was on the streets homeless. It's the same process, it's the same mindset, it's the same heart, it's just covered up with different things. Yeah, I'd say I don't really put that down. I always go by the premise, like the person that's coming to me, I never see them as a billionaire or as a homeless person or someone that has a sickness and disease. I see them whole and complete. That's my job. then my job is to show them what they have layered on top of that to help them to get the results they want, regardless of what that might be for them. Because people will come to me and they might say, we live in a world that, really that we've been conditioned that, especially for men, I really feel sorry for men because they have so much pressure to get the house, to have the cars, to have the family, to have everything. And there's great demands on a man. So if he feels like he's not succeeding because he's watching social media or watching everybody else and they've all got these businesses and this fantastic life, which most of them haven't, it's all just made up. But the pressure that he feels to succeed is such a heavy burden to carry. And then when you really speak to them, all they really want is to be happy. But when you ask people, what is your happiness? They don't know because they've been lost in the illusion and they've been chasing money, chasing, and they've created all this wealth. But inside they're lost and they have a great void inside of them. So it's really going back to what they really want to achieve in their life. It might be water sports, it might be going like giving it all up and doing a goodwill tour. So it's everybody has their own, you know what you want in your life. I know what I want in my life, and it's different for all of us.
It is, though. I gotta say, I have a lot of admiration for the industry that you're a part of and for your work specifically. And I feel like it's very comforting knowing that there's people like you who actually get it. Because I feel like most of the time you really need to learn how to speak those people language.
Yeah.
It's it can get very challenging. And I'm also glad that you mentioned a couple minutes ago how we work with all of those things on the inside, the limiting beliefs, the behavioral patterns. There's just a lot that goes into it, which also brings me to ask you about this. You've mentioned that the signature offer, Return to Yourself, was the name of it, if I remember.
Yeah, it's the so my book the first book I wrote was The Answer Is You, and it's all about the formula and the formula to master your mind and emotions. That's what it's all about. But the program is called Return to Self, so it's about
Gotcha.
returning back to your authentic self.
Now, when it comes to this program and just knowing everything that we mentioned in the last couple of minutes and knowing there's a lot of stages, a lot of different things that we need to overcome, what would you say is the average duration of the program like that? Or how long do people typically work with you? Just tell us more about that.
Again, everybody's different. Like I work with people that they have changed their lives in one sitting, and I'm not joking, they have. Because it's about releasing. It's not about again, everything is about our beliefs, what we believe to be true and what we hold on to. So if you've been told, because we've been programmed to believe that it takes 21 days, 3 months, 6 months, a year to let go of, transformation cannot be instant. It can be instant. It depends on the person you're working with. You can have an instant shift in that moment that will make you can't see the way you used to see your life anymore. Something's shifted, something's gone. So it can be instantaneously. Other people, it might be longer. So people say to me, if you have an instant shift, it doesn't mean that they're done and their life's good to go because they'll have other stuff that comes up. But if you can imagine, there's billions of timelines going on every single minute. And you can shift from one timeline to another timeline, and then you've got a completely different identity. So the sickness that you had might not exist in the new timeline. I done it myself. I cured myself of bulimia, 10 years of being bulimic. My whole body was literally breaking down, and I done it within 36 hours. Gone like that. I was never the same person. I couldn't relate to the bulimia again because it wasn't who I was. So when you have an instant shift, your whole identity shifts, everything about you is not the same. But so they can happen. But again, most people I work with, if they want more hand holding, it will be more of an 8 week program. I don't usually go beyond that because they don't need it. I work quite fast, and the people that come to me, they're very receptive. They listen. And if you've got the right knowledge and information, it's easy. It's like having the manual to your life. You know how to operate it, and then you don't need me. You can just keep putting it into place.
Now, that answer was powerful. I appreciate you going through that. Now, when it comes to the journey, I'm also wondering there's a bunch of people in your industry that are aiming more towards the group setting just to create something that really allows you to scale more and also have a bigger impact as an
Yeah.
individual, as a company, on a lot more people at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
curious whether one-on-ones is the only structure that you have in place right now, and if so, is there a reason for that? Or if you're also planning on launching some group program where you can make that happen.
Yeah, this year I launched my mindfulness app. It's a fantastic app because there's a lot of people that were trying to reach out to me. And like I said, I just couldn't speak to everybody. So the mindfulness app is an AI version of me. So you can chat to me or you can speak to me. It's been loaded with every piece of work I've ever done over the last 30 years. All my books are in there, everything. When you're asking me a question, it's me that's answering that question. That's been amazing. It's got meditations in there. It's got everything in there. So that's for anyone that wants a daily, it's like a coach. It's very specifically designed to keep you focused, to keep you breathing, to keep you aligned. Plus, if anything comes up, say for instance, I don't know, somebody might have taken some money off you or your partner might have left you can go in there and get an instant response and it will align you back immediately. I've got lots of books, I've got online courses. Yeah, the reason why I do the one-to-ones, I don't do as many, if I'm honest. I'm doing more talks and getting more on TV, doing more podcasts, doing more things like that, because the message that I have, that was really my core mission, was to really enlighten humanity to understand that the answer, the problem, the solution is you. There is nothing external to you. Everything that you need is within you. And if you have the right formula, the blueprint of how you work, you can heal yourself. You can attain anything that you want to attain. So the message is I really want to change the paradigm of how everybody's living and to recondition people's minds and their emotions, let go of the fear of all the conditioning that we're being told because it's not true. So that's my bigger goal. But yeah, most definitely, I'm definitely going to look at doing some workshops next year because I've been asked to do some, but there'll be more smaller, compact workshops so that they can be great, so people can have a massive change. And I can work with people again in the one-to-one settings of those workshops because it's all about, as I said, the greatest joy for me is seeing someone completely recalibrate and change in their lives. So that's what I'm all about, really.
I love that. Now, when it comes to making all of this happen, obviously, even despite the fact that you're really focused on the impact that you have on these people, there is still a ton of stuff that you need to do as a business owner.
Yeah.
So that's what I also want to talk about. So focusing on the backend side of the business, even with you accepting less of clients, what
Yeah.
is the process to even get them in the first place? What are you doing from that marketing slash lead generation standpoint to make that happen?
Yeah, I'm really, I'm glad you brought that because I'm terrible with anything to do with business. Like, I just have a gift and I just love my gift. Business wise, I'm awful. And I'm always getting people telling me, like, where's your funnels? What's your back end? What are you doing? I've literally, over the last few weeks and now, I've actually got a company I've put in place that will be creating the whole system for me. So they'll do all the plugins, they'll do all the stuff to collect the information. I've always worked on recommendations. I've never done any marketing ever. So all my clients always come to me through recommendations, through people that have worked with me. So I've been very lucky in that way. But yeah, I have an amazing following on Instagram, massive following. I have a big following on LinkedIn. I'm very lucky. Like people they just like what I do and what I say. So I've never ever had a problem in that area. But I do need to take it a bit more professional. Like I said, now I'm looking at more of the back end structures. So yeah, I've had a bit of
Yeah.
a laugh and need to really get.
Yeah, with all these people talking to you, now you're finally like, okay, let me treat it as a business. But
Yeah, it's very different because if I'm honest, when my children were younger, I loved being a mum. That was my passion. And then I realized like that this gift that I had for healing, alignment, whatever you want to call it, I love doing it, but I'm not what I'd call a businesswoman. Now, people say, yeah, you are because you're running your whole business yourself, and I do. But really, my focus is on just what I love doing. I'm passionate about what I do. So sometimes if I try to do technical things, I could be up till 4 or 5 in the morning because I'm stubborn and I won't allow something. I'll be like, oh, how do you do this? And now I've realized to let that go. Like we've all got our fortes, we've all got our gifts. Give it to someone that's gifted in that area. So yeah, I have a great little team now that are running and doing all the back end things for me. So yeah,
gotcha.
you can't do everything. Definitely not.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. And we almost always end up talking about delegation on the podcast because obviously this is something that entrepreneurs struggle with. But you're saying this is the company that you started working with, so it's external. You're not really building your internal teams, correct?
No, I found people again, like over the years, I spent a lot of money with marketeers, with people that they promise you the world and they can do this, that, and the other. And especially last year, I wasted so much money. But along that journey, I met some really lovely people. And I like to work with people that they've got little tiny businesses and they're struggling a little bit, but their work has been amazing. So I've got a couple of people now that I chose, handpicked. They work with me. We're a great little team. And now I'm just about to outsource to a larger team to really get the whole system. So yeah, that part is that's been challenging, but it's all getting there now. So yeah, it's been really good. Again, you learn and you grow by falling on your face, getting up, wiping your face, and starting again. And I've had to learn a lot through those ways. I have a lot of people, a lot of coaches that come to me and they say, "Why do you have such a massive following? And why does your content have so many comments and reposts?" But I said, because I do it myself. I write all my own articles. I write everything that I write for myself. So I don't have a company that says, use this hook, do that hook, write this thing. I don't do it because everything's energy. People are really buying into, if you're speaking like from your heart, it's got a different message that's coming across than something that's been pre-written by somebody else.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you brought that up. And talking about something challenging, though, let's talk about the future of the company.
Okay.
Obviously, there is a lot of exciting stuff happening right now, which is, I'm excited for you. But if you really think about the short-term goals and the next 12 months,
Yeah.
what would you say on one side are the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones, whatever comes to your mind? And then what might be the biggest challenge to make it happen?
I'm just really excited, to be honest. 2026 is going to be the best year of my life as in business. I know already. I'm a visionary and they always call me a master manifester. So whatever I want, I always manifest. But yeah, I've got a great vision next year. I've got some phenomenal podcasts that I'm doing with a couple of people. I'm starting my own podcast up as well. I've been asked to go on a TV show in America, which I'm really excited, and maybe get my own show going. So I'm really like just putting it out there next year. I love change. I love growth. For me, again, it's not about revenue. It's about who can I become? What is the greatest version of myself every single year and how can I get better? How can I improve? So that's my number one goal really is like just to keep expanding myself. And yeah, that, like I said, I don't have any challenges with that at the moment because I don't know. Again, it's what you put out there. The challenges are all going to be coming in your mind. So when a challenge comes up, I will look at everything as in how has this come to serve me? What am I going to learn from this? What do I need to do? And what do I need to implement to this situation to get the best out of it? So I always turn every challenge into a positive because everything is coming to help me grow and learn and expand. And then if I can't sort it out, I will then go to a friend or a team member that maybe can sort it out. So I look at everything as an option to grow, if you understand what I mean.
I do, and it's a beautiful perspective to have. So I appreciate that.
Thank
And
you.
also, with that being said, Mimi, this has been a great conversation. And I feel like we just wrapped up another insightful episode of Founders Future. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time today, sharing the story with me and the whole audience. And if anybody wanted to reach out, get in touch with you, maybe even work with you one day, what is the
Yeah.
best way to go about that?
So you can put me into Google, Mimi Bland, and I come up in Google. My website is www.mimibland.london. Instagram, mimibland.london, and LinkedIn is just Mimi Bland. Yeah, the best way, like I said, just put me into Google and I'll come up in Google. So you can always find me and then reach out to me on any social or on my website, there's a contact me form, then yeah, please just reach out. And if you don't want to work, there's also like on my website, there's my app, products, email, courses, and everything else that you can have a look at as well.
Gotcha. There's basically omnipresence with Mimi Blend. Just look it up. She's everywhere. I love it. Awesome. Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you own an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.